About Victoria Nonyamezelo. Victoria Nonyamezelo. Victoria Nonyamezelo. Repeat after me. Victoria Nonyamezelo. That is the person we're talking about today. If you are ready.
Yabo.
This is the African History class. I remember your name would be mentioned in the African History class as long as you are able to follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is at Blakk Rasta. That's BLAKKRASTA. Also follow us on 3FM 92.7, your urban lifestyle radio. My brother, my sister, this is what it takes for you. Lord God have mercy. Now hear me now. I see so many people write in the African History class, and what you do when you tweet at us, you add the hashtags, hashtag Blakk Rasta, hashtag 3FM, and hashtag the African History class. Yes, African History class. Today we're talking about Victoria Nonyamezelo. Victoria is spelled V-I-C-T-O-R-I-A, and Mxenge is M-X-E-N-G-E. She was born Victoria Nonyamezelo Mxenge. Victoria Nonyamezelo Mxenge. And Nonyamezelo is spelled N-O-N-Y-A-M-E-Z-E-L-O. Nonyamezelo. Nonyamezelo. Victoria Nonyamezelo Mxenge was born on the first day of January in 1942. And she was born in King William's Town, right there in the Eastern Cape. My brother, my sister, on the first day of January in 1942. And she was born in King William's Town in the Eastern Cape. My brother, my sister, at a very young age, she wanted to be a nurse. She fulfilled that dream of becoming a nurse and even becoming a midwife. But after that, she had another passion. What exactly was it? This is the African History class. Now I see so many people right here in the African History class, and I would like to run the register right about now. I see you right here in the African History class, and I want to say thank you so much. I appreciate you and I love you. Oh my God, have mercy. Lawyer Tad, you're sorry. You are, Ghana's #1 lawyer. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you and we love you. See who I see in the African History class. Thank you so much for joining us. Daniel Kwebe J, he's our Proverbs master in the African History class. Ras Otumfo Nana Tutufalu Tujaja I. Tutubigu from. Yes, Mr. Tutubigu from. This is the African History class. Many more people right here in the class. I want to say thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you and we love you. Buhari, the AC specialist all the way from Nima. Here you are, Sam Okujeto Ablakwa. Oh, you are an MP. Of course, North Tonga MP in the Volta region. Thank you so much for joining us. Kwesi Stephen Mawuli, KSM is right here in the class. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. Ras Osaje Fuduwa Bill, Tindando, Egomado, Yinzorbil. Thank you so much for joining us. We do appreciate you and we do love you. Many more people right here in the class. Sami Banflex, I see you in the class. Many more people right here. I see you. Hey, Teng Bill. Thank you so much for joining us all the way from Hyperlink Africa. Mighty Don Duvasti is the Mad Kuchoko engineer. Nat Ebube DK is our photo archivist right here in the African History class. We want to say we love you. We appreciate you. Testament GH, Derek D.O. is also here. Emperor Kwame Anane is also here. We appreciate you and we love you. Kaylin Koko K, Mother Sobur. I also see you smiling at me. Thank you so much for joining us. Empress Gessi B, Sadia Hips, I see you too. Thank you so much. We appreciate all you wonderful people right here in the African History class. What else can I say? What else can I do? But to just say thank you so much. Ni Aku Krecha, I see you. Thank you so much. I see you. Black Lion the General, all the way from Pram Pram, aka Blind Blind. Clement Plasma, I see you too. I see you all the way way inside Kia City, aka Kaswa. Thank you so much for joining us. Mashood Abiola. TJ is also inside Kia City, aka Kaswa. Black Bingi is also here. The Italis. Thank you so much for joining us. And Sophie Kosia Avi is right here in class. Reggie Rockstone, I see you too. Thank you so much for joining us. Shatta the Baba. Shatta the Baba 1 is here. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate all of you. This is the class. Our class today is going to last only 10 minutes. And we start from now. Today we're talking about Victoria Nonyamezelo. Victoria Nonyamezelo was born Victoria Nonyamezelo Mxenge on the 1st of January in 1942 in King William's Town in the Eastern Cape of South Africa. At a very early age, she was only interested in becoming a nurse because of how she saw South African black people going through a lot of atrocities in the hands of the South African police. In fact, black people did not get the medical care that they deserved. And she wanted to be a nurse who would take care of black people and solve that problem. She had that ambition from when she was a little child. Can we go a little deeper? In fact, she was born to a man by name Willimot Gosu. Her mother was called Nobantu Ntebe. Now, after completing primary education at Tamara, she went to Forbes Grant Secondary School, where she completed the junior certificate grade 10 in 1959. Ghana was only 2 years old at the time. She matriculated in Held Town, Fort Beaufort, in the Eastern Province. And then she lived her dream of becoming a nurse when she trained as a nurse at the Victoria Hospital and earned her qualifications in 1964. That was the same year Lucky Dube was born. In August, my brother, my sister, she was born in 1942. By 1964, at the age of 22, she had become a full-blown nurse. But she decided to get married because she was a nurse and she started earning money. So she needed to settle. Her childhood dreams had been met. And then she got married to a man by name Blakk Rasta. Now, Blakk Rasta himself was a very powerful man in the struggle. In fact, he was born in a settlement outside of King William's Town, where our heroine was born. They became friends for some time. He was a civil rights lawyer, a member of the African National Congress, and a South African anti-apartheid activist. And when our heroine joined her, they got married. And this is the photograph of our heroine, Victoria Nonyamezelo, and Mr. Blakk Rasta. At the time they met, he was already a serious activist with the ANC and was a human rights lawyer who helped a lot of black people get free. He was a thorn in the flesh of apartheid. Many black people were imprisoned, and he found a way of getting them out using the laws of South Africa. Blakk Rasta. My brother, my sister, listen to what happened now. After our heroine became a nurse, she realized that a lot of children were born in the ghettos of South Africa, and they couldn't get any care for their babies. A lot of them died in childbirth. So she decided to take on midwifery. Yes, she trained as a midwife at the King Edward Hospital and worked as a community nurse in Umlazi. In 1965, her husband was convicted under the Suppression of Communism Act and was imprisoned for 2 years on Robben Island alongside Nelson Mandela and the rest. You remember the story of Robben Island. Nobody was ever able to escape from Robben Island except for 1 or 2 people in the history of the deadly Robben Island penitentiary. My brother, my sister, this is our heroine here with her afro hair, with students and some activists of the ANC. I'm going to be telling you more about this photographer in no time. My brother, my sister, She served as a midwife. All of a sudden, she realized her husband was inundated with so many cases. Students were imprisoned. A lot of them had their results withheld. And a lot of them were, in fact, momentarily rusticated from the schools. In other words, they were sacked from schools for no reason. She realized that if she had to fight for their rights, she needed to be a lawyer. And her husband encouraged her. She left the nursing and the midwifery and went to school to study law. This was a woman who rose to the occasion anytime black people in the ghettos of South Africa needed her. My brother, my sister, in the days of apartheid. She went to law school. And there she studied law. My brother, my sister, and came out as a lawyer. Now, when she came out as a lawyer, she freed a lot of students who were imprisoned in those days. Those whose results were withheld. She found a way of using the law alongside her husband. In fact, to bring them back to normal, giving them back their results, and fighting for black people to get good jobs and well-paid opportunities. My brother, my sister, and above all, get black people to attend good schools in the days of apartheid in South Africa. Victoria Nonyamezelo. She and her husband had two sons, Mbasa and Viwe. And they had a daughter by name Namla. My brother, my sister, look at what happened right now. Interesting things happening. When she completed the law school at UNISA, a university I had an opportunity of having a stint with in South Africa. My brother, my sister, she started to practice law full scale. In 1981, some 5 years after her husband had set up a legal practice, she acquired legal qualifications, joined the practice, and was subsequently admitted as an attorney. And she used her new position to help so many people. In fact, sometimes she went into the ghettos, helping people as a nurse and also as a midwife in the hospitals. And then she went into her law firm, and there she was a lawyer. What a woman. This is the African History class, and today we're talking about Victoria Nonyamezelo. Listen to what happened right now. Now, on the 19th of November in 1981, 5 years after her husband had been released from prison, he was brutally stabbed to death. They killed him on the streets of South Africa. He was a threat to the South African government. They stabbed him several times. He was assassinated brutally. My brother, my sister, by the Blakk Rasta agents. Now the Blakk Rasta agents, spelled V-L-A-K-P-L-A-S-S. That's Blakk Rasta agents, my brother, my sister. My brother, my sister, they were a group of people who were used by the government of South Africa to assassinate great people who were fighting for the liberation of South Africa. They brutally murdered him in broad daylight, my brother, my sister. Yes. And they killed him south of Durban. Our heroine started to cry. In fact, she mourned her husband for a number of months, not knowing something else was awaiting her. My brother, my sister, after her husband's murder, Nonyamezelo kept their law practice going. She never stopped it because she knew it was the dream of her husband and her own dream too. She worked as a nurse, a midwife, and also as a lawyer. My brother, my sister, 2 years after the murder of her husband, she successfully defended students against the confiscation of their results by the Department of Education. She also intervened in cases in which the youth were ill-treated whilst imprisoned. Nonyamezelo represented families of victims of the Motolo raid and Lesotho raid. My brother, my sister, Nonyamezelo started a bursary fund in memory of her husband. She became a member of the Release Nelson Mandela Committee, RMC. sat on the executive of the National Organization of Women and the Natal Treasurer of the UDF. She established scholarships for black students to be able to go to school, both abroad and also in South Africa. And she did that in memory of her husband, Blakk Mxenge. My brother, my sister, when they saw how fast she was moving, she worked as a nurse, also worked as a midwife, and worked as a lawyer, and now a philanthropist. It was too much for the South African apartheid government. See what they did. My brother, my sister, on the 1st of August in 1985, 4 years after her husband was killed, she was gunned down by 4 black men as she returned from a political meeting. She was killed on her driveway in Umlazi, right in front of her children. Her children were standing there when they shot and killed her in front of them. My brother, my sister, as she landed and she was dying, she said, "Aluta continua." These were her last words. 1st August 1985. She was gunned down by 4 black men who were hired by the same Blakk Rasta agents. My brother, my sister, they killed her. She was a thorn in the flesh of the apartheid government of South Africa. She died just 4 years after her husband. Nelson Mandela wrote from the prison, and he sent his condolences to the family. My brother, my sister, apart from Nelson Mandela, Oliver Tambo also wrote his condolences for the family. She was buried, my brother, my sister, in South Africa. Later, as they had the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, 2 people were accused of killing our heroine for today. This is the coffin that carried her all the way to her grave. And you can see that only women carried the coffin. And all the women were dressed like her, with the afro hair and also with the band around their heads to celebrate her and to say, "Mama, you died for a cause, and we are here to continue in the spirit." She died at the age of 43 on the 1st day of August 1985. And she was killed in the same town as her husband. Today we remember this great black woman. In October 2005, the South African Ministry of the Environment launched the 3rd and final Leon Ngoyi class patrol vehicles named Victoria Nonyamezelo, named after her and in her honor. My brother, my sister, in 2006, the following year, both Victoria Nonyamezelo and her husband were posthumously awarded the Order of Luthuli in silver for excellent contributions to the field of law and sacrifices made in the fight against apartheid in South Africa. The Victoria Nonyamezelo group of advocates was officially established on the 1st of July in 2011 and is part of the Johannesburg Society of Advocates. And on the 20th day of August 2017, the KwaZulu-Natal government and the Ekhweni municipality unveiled statues in honor of Blakk and Victoria Nonyamezelo in Umlazi, right there in the south of Durban. My brother, my sister, today we remember this great black woman. Today we remember you. Anytime Steve Biko is mentioned, Victoria Nonyamezelo is mentioned. Anytime Neil Agat is mentioned, we hear the name of Victoria Nonyamezelo. In fact, in 1987, the song Asimbonanga by the South African band Savuka, composed by Johnny Clegg and dedicated to Nelson Mandela, also mentioned Victoria Nonyamezelo. Today we remember you. She was an anti-apartheid activist, a nurse, a midwife, and lawyer who paid the ultimate price for her work when she was assassinated on the 1st of August 1985. Victoria Nonyamezelo Mxenge. Yes, from 1942 to 1985, at the age of 43, she laid down her life, mommy. Mommy, why have you? Mommy, me see me new beko. Mommy, me new beko what? Oh, mommy, the year. Mommy, me see the year what? Them refer to Baba now. Baba now. Uniyamenko. Oh, mommy. Oh, nya, mommy. Years later, Mandela laid a ref on her grave. Oh, mommy. Where ya? Uniyamenko. Oh, mommy. Minubeko. Mommy, me see minubeko. Oh, mommy. Me see minubeko what? Mommy, minubeko. Mommy, me see minubeko what? Mommy, me see family copy what? Mommy, me see minubeko. Yeah, mommy. Mommy, baba yo. Mommy, uniyamenko. Mommy, me see minubeko what? Mommy, me see minubeko what? Yeah, mommy. Mommy. Yeah, mommy. Oh, mommy. In the burden of knowledge, I ask you, now that you know the story of Victoria Nonyamezelo Mxenge, what would you do? A midwife, a nurse, a lawyer, a philanthropist, an activist for black people's freedom. Oh, mommy, 43 years of life on earth, she achieved. My brother, my sister, today we remember you, mommy. The year what?